Alright guys, so we're on the final phase of the lift. We're going to do the rear end. So first things first, I'm going to remove the hubcaps or the wheel covers. I'm going to loosen the nuts, and then I'll go ahead and jack the cart up and put some jack stands under it. So I'll just do some video of each step. I'll go over the instruction like I've been going over. And then once all that's done, then I'll go back to the front and attempt to do the alignment. Alright, so like before, to remove these, you stick a flathead screwdriver in here and just kind of work around it. Just be careful with that, you don't want to break it. So just kind of work it around until it comes off. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and loosen the nuts as well. And then I'll jack everything up. Remember, before you guys jack anything up, be sure that you have a piece of wood to prevent the cart from rolling forward. I got them on both wheels. You want to take the parking brake off as well. So I'll go ahead and place the jack in this area, right in front of, right there. And it's up with the jack right there. Alright, so I removed the wheels. Got the jack stands on the frame on both sides. So I'm just gonna have to use this breaker bar here. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that up and remove it. I'm not gonna video it, but I'm gonna be taking this out. Okay. Alright guys, so I went ahead and removed this shock right here. Got that out of there. I got this plate off. I got the bushings out. There's two of these, top and bottom. Hold on to the hardware. So far I don't see anything indicating removing this plate. So the next step is to go ahead and remove these bolts on each side. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll tune back in once I get that taken care of. So I took the springs out, I removed the bolts from here, just how they look. This was holding this bracket on, okay, for the brake line. And I removed it from here. This looks a little nasty. Really don't feel like sanding it and painting at the moment. I'm probably just going to proceed with the installation and then maybe tackle it another day, just to come back and, you know, maybe remove the back part of the spring and sand it and throw some paint on there. But I just want to put it on, get it going, and enjoy it. So these are the new shocks right here, or the new leaf spring. These are the heavy duty ones. They have 4 leaves in there. It's always recommended to upgrade the leaf springs, especially with the back seat. Even if you're not doing a lift, if you add a back seat kit, you should upgrade your leaf springs on the rear. And this is this original, just 1 leaf. Therefore, stability wise, it's a little more bouncy. It's gonna be a little more stiff. And once again, when people sit back there, it's gonna feel solid. So that's what we're looking at. I'm gonna install this. Before this original one was installed under this bracket, the new one is gonna go above the axle here. So it's gonna be above to help raise it up. And I'll be using this block to raise it. Okay, and these are the new U-bolts and another plate. So I got the leaf spring in. I did have to put the these in there, you know, in the holes. They were kind of a pain in the butt. I'm hoping the next one's not gonna be that difficult. But anyway, they're in there, and the reason why this is on the floor and the jack is not under it is I failed to try to raise this up higher. So if you're doing this, I would suggest making sure you jack it up as much as you could, so you could raise it another notch because I didn't have enough room to do that, and I was kind of stuck at this point. And since I have a Fisher Price jack, this toy that I got, it really didn't allow me to go much higher than where I was able to. For sure, when you guys jack it up, make sure you actually go another hole up, because otherwise you're gonna have a difficult time. So now what I gotta do is I gotta put this plate on, okay, and then I have the U-bolts that are gonna go in here in these holes. On the axle itself, these are gonna go with the slant facing forward. They're gonna go in here. So once again, I have a slight issue because I had to take the jack off so I could, put this in. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna go ahead and hook all that up and go on from there. So I got this in. It was the biggest pain in the butt ever, okay? Because the fact is I did not have this jacked up high enough. This jack only goes so high, number one. Number two, not only does it only go so high, I got an issue with it. It's been leaking oil since day 2. I've had it and I never returned it. I should have just returned it. It was an expensive jack, but at the same time, I would expect for it to work properly. I was trying to lift the golf cart a little higher so I could put it another notch, so I could put the jack stand another notch. It's not going. So I went ahead and installed the leaf spring. I got both the bolts in there on each side. I installed this top plate. I installed the new U-bolt and mounted to this piece right here, the original piece that it came with. It looks good. There is a gap there. I'm hoping it closes up. The brake cable was kind of a pain in the butt too. I did disconnect it, but it was still kind of giving me some issues. But I went ahead and reattached it. I had to loosen up the bracket and then kind of slide the bracket forward so I could remount to the side here. See, so a little bracket. I just had to stick a screwdriver in between because it kind of wraps around to open it up, and then I slid it forward. Now, since I didn't have a jack that could fit under that axle, what I end up using to help lift this up into place, some straps that I used. So I have these straps, just some Husky straps, and I looped it into this hole, came down, looped it around the axle here, and then connected the 2 hooks here. And then when I started doing tightening everything up, it lifted this where I needed to lift it. That's how I was able to go ahead and put this in place. So what I ended up doing is raising that up. So I had issues with my jack leaking oil. I got desperate because I really needed this. I want to get this thing done tonight. So I found some of my oil from my air compressor tools. And I said, screw it, let me just put it in there, I have nothing to lose. So I took it apart, did a little rubber piece behind this plate, took that out, got a little straw, stuck the straw in there, and then kind of squeezed it in there and filled it up. So that being said, I was able to make it work again because obviously it leaked all the oil out. So I got all this connected, the leaf springs are in, this is in, the plates. I got the shock on, the brake. This basically just got attached to this bracket here, and that's it. So, and obviously I got this block in. Everything looks like it's pretty tight underneath and touching, so I don't see it being an issue. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So the other side is considered step 29. And I'm going to start working on that. Just so you know, I removed the footrest from this back seat kit. Just because when I put my jack back there, I didn't have enough space to jack it with that pole that I got with that stick. I just felt like it wasn't doing the job. So I got it out of my way. It's better like this anyways because it's kind of in my way. So that's out of there. So now I'm going to work on the other side. So for sure put at least on a second notch. I don't know how your jack stands are, Mine are some old ones my stepdad gave to me, and there's just like 3 holes, so I got on the second hole. So I got this side done once again. Everything's tight. I got the other side done. I'm very limited on space, so it's a pain in the butt to try to work in these tight areas, but everything's all installed. So one thing I did run into is when I was trying to install the other side, this was not lining up with the leaf spring. There's like a hole and something that sticks through it, and it's supposed to line up, and it wasn't. And then when I looked at this one, it was leaning more towards another way. So I ended up having to loosen this one up and kind of tap it so it could kind of move everything, shift everything over. Now this is nice and straight. This side still looks a little crooked, but yeah, I think it's fine. But other than that, I'm gonna make sure everything's nice and tight. I checked the other side for sure. I'm gonna confirm this side and put the wheels on. This took a lot longer than expected, just because of what I was working with the jack that was giving me issues, and then me not raising the jack stands high enough. So, note to self: make sure your jack stands are high enough. Make sure that you don't fully tighten this U-bolt, because if you do need to adjust the other side by pulling it over, at least it's loose and you have some movement. If not, then you're gonna have issues trying to get it lined up. So all I had to do was loosen the 2 bolts that are attached to this here, right there at the bottom. So I loosened that side and the other side, and I was able to shift everything over. Well, that's it, guys. I'm gonna put the wheels on. I think I'm going to need a stepladder. The step to this back seat comes up to about here. Basically where these bolts are, go straight across. So this thing is high. But it's done, other than the alignment, which I want to try to mess with that. It's about 3:30 in the morning right now. I probably should go to sleep, but maybe I'll just get the alignment done and be done 100% with the suspension. The tires stick out a little bit. I'm not mad at it. I did order some fender flares, but I might return them because I think they're gonna protrude too far, and I don't want to make this thing wider than I need to. So, but it's looking good though. I like it, at least. Other than the body, I was gonna do a metallic black, but then I'm thinking maybe I should do a color that nobody has, or that I haven't seen on a golf cart. So we'll see. That thing looks bad though. Hopefully my wife doesn't complain about the height. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this alignment done, and then go on from there. The lift and the wheels. I think it came out pretty good. I did the alignment the best I can, or the best I was able to. Excuse the wind noise. Alright guys, so that concludes the lift kit. So we did the front, we did the back. So now stay tuned for what's next. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those videos. Hopefully you learned something from it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below and I'll be more than happy to try to answer them for you. Thank you once again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.